King Charles is allegedly willing to do whatever it takes to build a relationship with these royals, but we're not so convinced. Ingrid Seward, royal biographer and author of The Queen and the Untold Story, told Express that it's said King Charles doesn't get to see his son Prince Harry's kids more. Family has always been important to the king, she added. He remembers his own somewhat fragmented childhood as his parents were always busy doing their duty. It is a great sadness to him he doesn't see more of Archie and Lilibet. Despite the seemingly insurmountable rift between Charles and Harry, Seward says the monarch's childhood and his experience in the spotlight have made him more understanding. That is why he will never break ties with Harry, she continued. He does not want a FaceTime relationship with his son's children. Hello viewers, please remember to subscribe and click on the notifications bell icon, so you will be notified whenever we upload new cookies about the British royal family. He wants to know them and be involved with their lives while they are still young enough to be able to learn from his wisdom. His cancer has made it all the more poignant to him as he knows that he won't be around forever. And can we just acknowledge how side-eye worthy that statement is? He wants to know his estranged grandkids so they can learn from his wisdom. He wants a deeper relationship for their benefit, not for his. Come on, Grandpa Charles. You should want to have a meaningful relationship with your kind and funny grandkids across the pond because you want to know them. Do we really have to spell this out? Insiders say the monarch is open to doing whatever it takes to make sure that his relationship with Archie and Lilibet goes beyond the occasional FaceTime call, per in style, but we just don't buy it. If he's willing to do whatever it takes, he could hop on a plane headed to his grandkids' home in California. Or, he could push British lawmakers so that his son could finally get adequate security for his family to safely visit the United Kingdom. Earlier this year, an insider shared a similar sentiment with the Daily Mail. Charles values family above everything, they said, and whatever the course of his relationship with his son, he would never be content with just seeing his grandchildren on the odd video call. The monarch was reportedly keener than ever to make up for lost time with the grandkids he's only met a handful of times. And yet, it's been 3 months since those remarks were made, and the king has still not made a move to impart his wisdom on 2 of his 5 grandkids. Sadly, we won't be holding our breath for it to happen anytime soon. King Charles, set to ban historic word during upcoming royal tour. King Charles is set to ban a historic word during his upcoming royal tour with Queen Camilla, it has been claimed. The term walkabout will not be used on the King and Queen's tour of Australia and Samoa out of respect for Australia's indigenous communities. The phrase, coined by Queen Elizabeth II 54 years ago, is set to be replaced with opportunity to meet the public, out of respect for the customs and traditions of Aboriginal communities. The term has come to mean a member of the royal family meeting and greeting well-wishers. However, it is used in Aboriginal culture when a person travels on foot into the bush in times of ritual, meditation, change, grief or coming of age. Therefore, the phrase will not be used by Buckingham Palace during the October trip, the first long-haul tour undertaken by the king since his diagnosis with cancer, according to reports in the Telegraph. This tour is understood to be the first trip where the term has been deliberately avoided. It will be Charles's first return to Australia and Samoa as king and the head of the Commonwealth. The tour has been adapted in line with doctors' advice, Buckingham Palace has confirmed. The 9-day visit will factor in some rest periods after the long-haul travel, and will not include any evening engagements in Australia. The king, who is receiving treatment for cancer at the age of 75, will undertake several engagements relating to the disease. Meanwhile, Queen Camilla, 77, will attend events for her key causes of preventing violence against women, and promoting literacy. Engagements will focus on acknowledging and honoring Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island culture and traditions. The King and Queen will attend a community barbecue, a staple of Australian culture, in Western Sydney, as well as learn about bushfire prevention and native plants. The tour was originally intended to include New Zealand, however, it was scaled back on medical advice. A Buckingham Palace spokesman said, "We've had to, as you would with any visit, think about how you can ensure Their Majesty's energies are preserved to be at their best." There had been some hope earlier in the year for Their Majesties to be able to visit New Zealand. On doctors' advice, and in close consultation with the Australian and New Zealand governments, that wasn't able to take place. We've had to make some difficult decisions about the programme with the Australian government, about where Their Majesties can get to. In other news, the King is spending a quiet weekend in Royal Deeside to mark the second anniversary of his mother's death on Sunday. Queen Elizabeth passed away at Balmoral on September 8, 2022. According to Richard Eden, the Daily Mail's well-connected society diarist, the medical team are also staying at the estate for a meeting to discuss all health matters relating to the royal family. A medical source said, "It's an important get-together." The King, 75, has been undergoing treatment for an unnamed form of cancer. The Queen, 77, who returned to royal duties last week before heading back to Scotland, is thought to be in rude health. Her Majesty met Sandra Tyler and Jill Hitchman, who were both undergoing a chemotherapy session. Noticing that Sandra was wearing a specialist hat which helps to prevent hair loss, she remarked, "You've got your ice cap on." Camilla also engaged in a light-hearted exchange with Paul Holdway, a 55-year-old nurse and patient undergoing a stem cell transplant to treat his blood cancer. When asked by Her Majesty, "How are you feeling?" Mr. Holdway replied, "I am feeling very tired." The Queen responded with a touch of humour and said men won't admit it, in an apparent reference to her husband. She has made it clear she would prefer Charles to slow down during his treatment. The royal medical household is made up of a number of professionals at the top of their fields, who also usually work across the NHS and privately. Unlike other parts of the royal household, their names are not revealed publicly. In June, the King personally honoured his top medical team, including Dr. Michael Dixon, head of the Royal Medical Household, who was made a Commander of the Royal Victorian Order, CVO. Dr. Fiona Butler, a West London GP whose royal role is apothecary to the King, and the Queen's physician Michael Dooley were made Lieutenants of the Royal Victorian Order, LVO. A Buckingham Palace spokesman declined to comment on this weekend's medical conference. However, a royal source told Eden Confidential that the meeting is an annual event not related to the cancer treatment of the King or the Princess of Wales. Queen Camilla, 76, debuted the piece at the event, pinning it on her blue sash just above Queen Elizabeth's family order, which features a portrait of the late monarch on a yellow ribbon. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and drop comments. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything.